Okay, welcome to another VMA-214 training video. Today we're going to look at the action, no action function of the DMT. At the moment I'm in no action. What that means is when I move the cursor control button and slew the DMT, it won't ground stabilise, it'll just stabilise on the axis of the aircraft in the HUD. At the moment, if I bring up the DMT, you can see in the middle of the flight path marker we have a small circle. That's indicating that it is now looking along the flight path marker. And if I fly this around to the target area, which is just up on this hill at rotor, you'll see the DMT is looking at the flight path marker, so I can move it down towards those hot spots in the target area there, and it gets a bit hard to get on, but the thing is that the difference is we've got a dive angle on there, we're losing altitude all the way in, so that's one way of doing it. And then I can designate the ground target by pressing the button and then move it onto the targets wherever they may be. There they are. So that's one way of using it. Another way is if I undesignate, so nose wheel steering, undesignate button twice and send it back to the bore sight, is I want to put the DMT to a position just below the flight path marker so I can maintain level flight but look down. So if I move the cursor, I get a large box, release it, and you can see that if I pitch up and down, it is moving relative to its position, the longitudinal axis of the aircraft, and I can then fly that onto the target. So if we come around now, I can maintain altitude, I can set it below the flight path marker as we run in, and then all I have to do is press the cursor control, depress, and I'll get a ground stabilised position. So back onto the target, and we can drop it down a bit further and fly it into the target area without descending. And once I get there, depress, and then we can sweeten it onto the targets. So that's the no action function. I find that a lot easier to use as a method, and I generally fly with the DMT in no action. The other option is to press the action no action button, which I have down to the throttle. So I'll press that now, and I'll undesignate twice to bring it back to the flight path marker. And this time we'll fly in, and as soon as I move the cursor control, it's going to ground stabilise wherever I stop moving it. So I literally have to fly that flight path marker onto the target. Hotspots in the target area. Move the cursor control switch, it's ground stabilised, and then I have to move it up to where I want it, sweeten it. So they're the two modes of using it: action, as we just saw, and no action, which is my preferred mode of operating. Now once we come off the target, you just saw that as soon as the DMT loses its reaches gimbal limits, it switches to an INS point, and it is remembering where it's looking. So when we turn back into the target, it says INS at the moment. When we turn back in, as soon as we get back within gimbal limits, the DMT will be looking where we last ground stabilised. There we go, it's got gimbal limits, it's coming around, and it's looking where we last ground stabilised. The other option we have is, because we've got a target waypoint and we know it's pretty close to where targets are, if I nose wheel steering undesignate twice, and we've got our waypoint T1 up there, if I box designate that target on the EHSD using the designate button, you can see that it's gone straight to INS. So the DMT will look at that position that I just box designated. So coming into the target with it box designated, and as long as you've got a diamond over the target area instead of a waypoint symbol, as we come in and get within gimbal limits, it'll look exactly where the target area was. There we go.
Fuel blow right. Fuel blow right.
And that's about time to go home, I think. But they're the two modes of DMT, and also just using the box designate function to get the DMT onto the target area as you're coming in. Anyway, thanks for watching.